Hello there and welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Game Titan. We're here on Malinovkha and I'm on the M103, my Tier 9 American heavy tank. I've recently unlocked that and I've actually managed to push through the experience of it really rapidly because of the multipliers given for the American Tank Bowl competition and a number of other things. So I have, I think, about 130,000 experience away from unlocking the T1 I've been having mixed results with this tank. I'm definitely not as good at tier 9 as I am at lower tiers, and I'm certainly not as good with this as I am in something like the T29, where I seem to have really excellent results. I haven't quite figured out what exactly to do in this tank, and I particularly have difficulty when facing strongly armoured tanks from the front. So I've decided to carry a lot more premium ammunition as one of my responses to this. Let's admit to the fact that I don't have necessarily the skill to recognise or pick out weak spots in the front of tanks. I could study armour models, but you know, that's homework. Should also watch where I'm driving. I didn't really intend to run into the back of that Tiger. Not sure what he's pointing his gun at. He's down in a hole, but anyway. Deployment is fairly typical. We're heading for the hill. Most of our tanks, heavy tanks, are actually heading for the hill, and I think the hill is the place for heavy tanks to go. We have one light tank, or medium tank, running up the western side of the field. He has gone too far. He's gone way ahead of his support. There's one heavy tank down in the town. It's a pretty heavy tank, medium tank kind of game, and we're probably not defending the village at the back of the field enough. But that guy's going to die. He's gone too far. He's isolated, and while he may spot stuff and give the team a warning if an attack is going to come in that direction, nothing the team will do at this point will save him from anything other than him leaving as soon as possible. At the moment, we have tanks pushing along the eastern side of the lake, which is the correct thing to do for a medium tank. He's getting good spots. My shot was knocked off there by the Yak Panther. That guy there up at D6 is well placed, and interestingly enough, the enemy actually have very few tanks in that location. Normally that place is thick with tank destroyers or medium tanks trying to spot and shoot people coming up the hill. So I dunked that shot completely. Shooting commander's hatches is not one of my strong points. So we push forward. There's not a lot of enemy tanks actually up here. There's the Patton. There was the Conqueror, and there's an Oni. Now I always come around this side. There's something over there to my left as well. And I try and put a shot into the Patton. I don't succeed in that particular case. The artillery takes an enormous chunk out of the ONE. And we put a round until somebody else finishes them off. So meanwhile, yeah, the guy over in the medium that went over to where the G1 is dead. But some of our tanks are responding to his demise. There's two heavies going to join the guy that's defending the village. Meanwhile, a couple of our heavies have pushed through the village in the middle of the between the lake and the hill that I'm on. This is very unusual, and they've only been able to get away with it because the enemy basically didn't defend that area around CD 4 or 5. The medium that was spotting down there kind of had a rush of blood to the head, charged into the middle of the artillery. He's not going to survive. There's just too many guns down there. However, he probably kept the artillery distracted at a very crucial time. A big chunk of artillery falling around my position right now will put a stop to my career very, very quickly. Or falling around the church or whatever it is at the base of the hill there where the heavy tank is engaging and the enemy heavy tank. Now, as I said, that medium is gone, and the enemy is actually making a big push down the river on the western side of the field. However, that's a difficult line to make an attack from, and there's an equal number of defenders. There's a heavy that's essentially doing the spotting at K2, and the rest of them are back far enough that they're probably out of view range of the tanks coming down, but still have a reasonable opportunities to shoot at them. So this Type 4 heavy is outnumbered. He's got me and a Conqueror to play with, and there's another heavy nearby as well. So that's the end of him, and I switched to high explosives on anticipation that what I'm going to meet next is going to be artillery. Two of the enemy tanks on the western side have been taken out. There's one remaining spotted. Another heavy is turned up back behind the base area. Well, it's kind of typical, I suppose. It wouldn't be a game of all the tanks these days if there wasn't a heavy tank behind the base. So now the enemy are down to 3 tanks. I have a quick look at the team list to see what they are, and to see that I need to change my mind about my ammo loadout, and I decided I'll stick with the HE. So we've cleared out the western side, and sure enough the first thing I spot is the Black Prince, where the HE is not necessarily the most appropriate ammunition, but I do manage to use it to track him. The artillery is dying in like droves, and will I get a shot at this bad chat? Yes, we take him out, and that's the end of the game. So 3 kills, 11 damaging ribbons. I'm quite satisfied with this result. It's a good result for me. So how do we do? 3000 damage, 1000 spotting damage, 2nd class mastery. So yeah, I'm happy enough with this. Came second by experience. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider giving it a like. It really helps the channel out, and thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.